Okay, so these triangles are similar and we're asked to work out those sides FE and AB. So remember, the first thing you do is you write down two fractions, okay, and you look for the sides that correspond to each other that you know. So this side here corresponds with this side, okay, simply because of where the angles are placed. I know that side corresponds to that side. So two fractions will be 9.1 divided by 6.5, okay, where the bigger number is on top. Or you just flip it, 6.5 divided by 9.1. Okay, now you're allowed to do that. Okay, you might think, well, you can't put decimals in a fraction. Well, it's part of the calculation process. Of course, we're allowed to do that. Okay, so let's then figure out these sides here. Okay, so FE, for instance, then, right, is this side here. Okay, now this side will correspond to the smaller side here. Yes, 11.5 has been made bigger. So what I do to work out FE, I take the side CB, which is 11.5, and I multiply it. I multiply that side. Now I want to make it bigger, don't I? Okay, so if I want to make it bigger, I've got to multiply 11.5 by the bigger fraction. Okay, so the bigger number on top has got to be that one there. So that will be 9.1 divided by 6.5. Okay, so I get my calculator and I type that in, 11.5, okay, times fraction button, 9.1, press the arrow down, 6.5 equals, press the SD, 16.1. And I made it bigger, okay? So you can write it in so you can feel, sort of, you can look at it and think that it makes sense, okay, because it's got bigger. Okay, now AB then is this side here, yeah, okay? So AB equals, and of course this side corresponds to that side, okay? So we'll take that side, 10.5, and we'll multiply it, okay? And now we'll ask ourselves, okay, well, what's happened to this side to get to here? Well, clearly it's got to go smaller, isn't it? Okay, so if you're going to multiply 10.5 by something and you want to make it smaller, you must choose the smaller fraction, okay, where the number is smaller on the top. Okay, so 6.5 divided by 9.1. So if I do that, okay, so 10.5 times fraction button 6.5 over 9.1, and I get, press the SD, 7.5 centimeters. And just ask yourself, you know, does it make sense? Always ask yourself that. Is it making sense here? Okay, and clearly it's gone smaller and it works out fine. So just a sort of summary on that, right? If you want to sort of make it larger, okay, you've got to choose the bigger scale factor. So it'll be the big divided by small. If you want to make it smaller, you've got to choose the smaller scale factor, okay, to make it smaller. Small divided by big. Okay, right, let's look at one here. This one is a little bit sort of awkward in the way it's been drawn, but these are similar triangles, okay, as it says in the question. And you just got to be careful here in terms of spotting which sides correspond to one another. Sometimes it helps to trace, okay, so I traced this shape earlier, okay, here, and if you sort of twist it around, okay, you kind of get that shape then. Obviously it's been enlarged, that shape, okay, it's been made bigger, but you can see then what sides correspond to one another just by rotating it round. And the two sides that we know are these two sides here that correspond to one another. So the two fractions, 8.4 divided by 5.88, or the other way around, flip it, 5.88 divided by 8.4. So always write them down first. So I then, to start with, I want PQ. Okay, so PQ, length PQ. Well, what side does that correspond to? Again, if you want to, you know, you use that tracing paper, rotate it around. So the side PQ there is that side, and it corresponds to that side there, which is 5.6. So we take 5.6, okay, and we multiply it to get that side. Now you ask yourself, do I want to make it smaller or bigger? Well, obviously this is smaller, so I've got to multiply it by the smaller scale factor. So 5.88 divided by 8.4. So there's lots of decimals and things going on here, but just rely on your calculator in this type of work. So 5.6 times fraction button 5.88 over 8.4, and we get out 3.92 centimeters. Okay, write it in there, that kind of makes sense. Okay, and then BC. Okay, so I want that side BC there, so again, pop it in there if you want. Right, BC there corresponds to this side of the triangle, yeah, RQ. So RQ is 2.24, so to get BC, I take 2.24, and I ask myself, right, do I want to make it bigger or smaller? Well, I'm going from here to here, I need to make it bigger. So I multiply by the bigger scale factor there, which is 8.4, divide by 5.88. So I get my calculator. 2.24 times 8.4 over 5.88. I get my answer 3.2 centimeters.